Have you ever done this before? You drag yourself through the entire work week. You wake up early. You hit the snooze 3 times. You rely on coffee just to function. And by Friday afternoon, you feel completely exhausted. And you tell yourself, hey, don't worry, we'll just catch up on the weekend. Then Saturday arrives and you sleep till 10, maybe 11, maybe even noon. And you wake up, you're expecting to feel amazing, refreshed, recovered. I'm ready to take on the world. But instead, you still feel tired. Your energy, it isn't much better. Your brain, it still feels a little bit foggy. And somehow Monday morning feels absolutely brutal. And if this happened to you, you're not alone. And today, I'm gonna explain why your weekend sleep-ins may feel like you're fixing your fatigue. Because despite what most people believe, sleep doesn't work the way most people think it actually does. Hi, I'm Brandon from Parkway Sleep. And if you're interested in learning about how sleep impacts your energy, your health, your productivity, your long-term wellness, make sure to subscribe below. Okay, let's dive in because the biggest myth about sleep is that you can completely catch up on it later. And most people think sleep works like a bank. You lose sleep Monday through Friday, then make a big deposit on Saturday, problem solved, right? But unfortunately, that's not exactly how it works. Now, can sleeping in help? Absolutely. Will you feel somewhat better after getting a little bit extra sleep? Usually. But can it completely erase an entire week of poor sleep habits? Not really. Think about it like exercise. If you skip the gym for 6 months, can you have one intense workout on Saturday and make up for everything? Of course not. Or imagine eating poorly all week. Can you have one healthy salad on Saturday and suddenly undo everything? Not really. And sleep is very similar. Your body, it thrives on consistency, not occasional recovery sessions. Now, when you consistently short yourself on sleep, your brain, it starts operating differently. Your reaction time slows down. Your brain's memory isn't sharp anymore. Your mood starts to suffer. Your metabolism changes. Your hunger hormones become disrupted. And some of those effects don't immediately disappear after one good night of sleep. And the body, it can be incredibly resilient, but it also loves that routine. Now let's talk about something most people have never heard of. It's called social jet lag. And it might be one of the biggest reasons your weekends aren't helping you. Now, most people understand regular jet lag. You fly across several time zones, your body clock starts to get confused. So you feel tired at weird times. You struggle to sleep. Your energy feels off. Social jet lag creates a similar effect, except you're never leaving town. Let's say you wake up at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. Then on Saturday, you sleep until 11. That's a 5-hour shift to your body. That's a major schedule change. Your brain, it doesn't know it's Saturday. Your circadian rhythm doesn't know you're trying to recover. It only knows that your schedule, well, it suddenly changed. And when your body clock gets pushed around, your sleep quality often starts to suffer. Your energy starts to suffer. And then Monday morning becomes much harder. In fact, some people spend their entire weekend trying to recover while accidentally creating mini jet lag that makes them feel miserable. And if you've never heard of social jet lag before, just hit that subscribe button. Because most people spend years struggling with fatigue before they ever learn how powerful their body clock really is. And here's where things get really interesting. What if the problem isn't the amount of sleep you're getting? What if the real problem is the quality of sleep? This is one of the biggest things we see at Parkway. People come in exhausted. They tell us, Brandon, I slept 8 hours. Some say they even slept 9 or 10. And some tell us that they sleep half the weekend away. Yet, they're still tired. Well, why? Because being asleep and getting restorative sleep are two very different things. I mean, think about a construction crew building your house. You can have that crew on site for 10 hours. But if you're forced to stop working every few minutes, progress slows to a crawl. The problem isn't the amount of time they're there. It's the constant interruptions. Sleep works the exact same way. If you start snoring heavily, if you're repeatedly waking up throughout the night, if you're having breathing interruptions from sleep apnea, if your sleep is just constantly fragmented, your brain and your body, they can't complete the recovery work that it's supposed to do. So even if you're in bed 9 or 10 hours, you may still wake up feeling exhausted. Because that quality, it matters. And it matters more than the quantity. And I see this all the time. I mean, someone tells me, hey, I slept great on vacation, or hey, I slept 12 hours this weekend. But then Monday arrives and they're exhausted again. That's because the fatigue, it wasn't necessarily caused by the lack of opportunity to sleep. The fatigue may have been caused by poor sleep quality the entire time. And you can't simply out-sleep untreated sleep apnea, for example. You can't necessarily sleep your way out of fragmented sleep. You can't fix every sleep problem by spending more time in bed. And that's where a lot of people start to get frustrated because they just keep trying harder. They keep sleeping longer, yet they never actually feel better. And speaking of trying harder, I actually made a video about this called The Sleep Advice That Everyone Gets Wrong. It's right here. And if you've ever been told to simply try harder, spend more time in bed, or force yourself to sleep, I think you'll really enjoy that video. Now let's talk about Monday morning. Now why does it feel so awful on Monday morning? Well, for many people, the answer, it's really simple. Their weekend schedule is just completely different. Friday night, they want to stay up till midnight. Saturday night, 1 a.m. And then Sunday comes, and Sunday evening arrives. And then they expect to fall asleep at 10 p.m. again. The problem, your body clock, it's not ready. It's like asking someone to fly from California to New York instantly. Your body, it needs that time to adjust. But most people don't give it that time. Then Monday arrives, your alarm goes off, and it feels like, well, torture. Not because Monday's cursed. Not because you're lazy. Not because you're getting older. But it's because your sleep schedule, it got pushed all over the place. So what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Consistency. Now, I know it's not exciting. I know it's not a magic trick. I know it's not a supplement. Maybe it's not even a sleep hack. But consistency works. Try to go to bed around the same time every night. Try to wake up around the same time most mornings. And if you sleep in on the weekends, try not to make it a huge difference. Generally speaking, staying within about an hour of your normal wake-up time is much easier for your body than 4 or 5 hours later. The more predictable your sleep schedule becomes, the easier it becomes for your body to know when it's time to sleep and when it's time to actually wake up. Your body, it loves patterns. Give it predictable patterns and it usually will start to respond. And before we wrap up, if this video is giving you value, make sure to subscribe below. Our goal is pretty simple, to help more people understand why they're tired and what they can actually do about it. So here's the question I want you to ask yourself. Are you tired because you're not getting enough sleep? Or are you tired because you're not getting good sleep? Those are two very different problems, and they require very different solutions. Because if you're spending 8, 9, or 10 hours in bed and you're still exhausted, sleeping until noon next Saturday probably isn't going to be the answer. The answer may be finding out what's actually disrupting your sleep in the first place. So if your weekend sleep-ins aren't fixing your fatigue, please don't be discouraged. The truth is that sleep recovery is far more complicated than simply sleeping longer. Your body clock, it matters. Sleep quality matters. Consistency matters. And for many people, the reason they're exhausted isn't because they need more sleep. It's because they just need better sleep. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe because I'll come at you with practical sleep advice every week. And let me know in the comments, do you sleep in on the weekends? And do you actually feel more rested afterwards? I'd love to hear about your experience. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.